Hi everyone, my name is Katie. I'm a homeschool mom and a Time4Learning employee. I've been homeschooling since 2005. Time4Learning has been my primary curriculum since 2007, and since 2010, I've been fortunate enough to work from home for Time4Learning. So we keep bringing these helpful videos to you. We want to make sure that we walk you through steps that are giving you a little bit of a hard time, but there's always an answer, and so that's what we're here to do. This video is to help you understand how activities get checked off. Time4Learning provides a pre-K to 12th grade curriculum across the core subjects plus electives. The lessons come from a variety of sources which are integrated within the Time4Learning portal. We provide integrated planning, reporting, and access across these different systems, which is super convenient for parents. So students need to be able to properly finish an activity so that it will get checked off as completed. It can vary by activity, so it can get a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you some examples. So here's the first one. You'll notice in the right bottom corner of where it's notated by the number 1, you'll see a yellow finish button. Sometimes this could say done, but it's either going to be finish or done. Once a student completes that, then they'll be taken to another little screen, which is the image to the right notated by the number 2. Once they get there, they'll click exit activity. So this is an example of a 1-2 process. They'll click finish or done, then click exit activity, and that'll properly complete that activity for them. The next example, we've got a couple of different ones. Chapter test, the image above, you might see a button that says continue to move to the next screen. You'll want to click that to close that chapter test. Some activities also have a little hand symbol here. When your student goes through the slides and they get to the last slide and they see that hand, they'll click that hand button to close the activity. The reason we're showing you these is we don't want you or your student to just click a tab or a window to close it out. If they do that without taking the proper steps, the system won't be able to acknowledge it as complete. So these are a couple more examples of continue and then the hand. This is another example of a 1-2 process. So this is an activity quiz. Once the student completes, they answer all 5 questions, they'll click the turn in button first. Once they click the turn in button, you'll see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the corner with the green line. That shows you that all 5 questions were answered correctly, and then they click exit. So again, 1, 2, turn in, and then exit. And that completes that activity correctly. Now, when activities are completed, that's when the check marks come into play. When a student finishes an activity, Time4Learning tracks it and puts in a check mark. Student activity cards, like the ones you're seeing on the screen now, they will display blue check marks on all successfully completed activities by 6:30 a.m. the next morning, so check it the following morning. We use preliminary gray check marks when the system kind of knows that the activity was started, and it'll turn blue once confirmation of completion is received. So you'll see the blue check marks. You'll also see an icon key in the right corner. This is on the student dashboard. So if they do want to click into that, if they want to better understand the check marks that they're seeing, the student can click into that icon key and get an explanation. Now this is what that preliminary gray check mark looks like. So they see that, and then again, the following morning, if the activity was completed correctly, they'll see that blue check mark. These are some activity cards from a high school student. So you'll see blue check marks on the activity cards that were completed. Now, this morning I completed the warm-up, get ready for the lesson activity under compare and contrast, myths and cultures. And there's not a check mark there, but don't worry. That will show up tomorrow morning with a blue check mark. But if you want to give a quick glance to like maybe real-time completion to see what they completed today, parents and students can go into their course map, which looks like this, and then you'll see that check mark next to that warm-up activity to know that that was completed today. I know I kind of went through this really quickly, but don't worry. We've given parents access to this information within their parent account. So if you want to refresh yourself or maybe go back through it, maybe you like something written, visual aid versus the video, go to your parent account, click on help and tips, and then scroll to that last question, a lesson didn't mark as complete, why not? And that'll go through the entire guide that I've just shown you with more detailed information to help you figure that out. I mentioned the icon key for the student account. That's where students can go to check all of their icons and those definitions. We also provide that in the parent account. So again, help and tips, go to student dashboard and then click on the icons, and then you'll see the explanation for all of them there. I do want to invite you to join our community on Facebook. It's a very active group of Time4Learning members and homeschoolers. It's a great place to connect, ask questions, share experiences. It's just a really good community. So when you go to Facebook, just look for Time4Learning Families and join us there and participate with us and ask any questions that you might need. We appreciate you joining us today. If you do have questions, you can message us on Facebook as well. So once you're on Facebook, just look for time4learning.com and shoot us a message. And we look forward to the next video. Thanks.